Hi, Aries. I'm sorry that it got pulled into two. I was talking too much, I guess. Um, we were just talking about your third house. Your communication is highly important this month. But I feel like it's really based off of the communication you have with yourself first. And if you're truly understanding what yourself is trying to tell you about what you either nurture or neglect, and how you've been doing these things within your inner emotional security. And investing in yourself and your awareness of it. And I say that because as you move into the fourth house, that is your inner emotional security. That is the roots of who and what you are. It is the soul and the home. So it's the vessel that carries the soul, but it's also the home. It's your personal foundations. You have the North Node, or Rahu, here for 1 more month. And then it's going to move into your messaging system. So this is saying the more you get right with listening to the communication you have with yourself, the further you are ahead of the game. Rahu only has one destination: to teach you what you have to learn in order to move forward. Period. Teach you what you have to learn in order to move forward, or you don't move forward. So this is the cycle coming to an end. And in Cancer, that's us learning how to nurture ourselves. That's us not, that's the Cancer energy that's very nesting and mothering and loving and nurturing. But it wants to nurture others. Cancer is great at, I'll put it this way, I'm a Cancer moon, and I was talking to my mother today, and she was saying something about the fact of, like, I would make the tea for her. And then she was saying I was a better person than her. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I was like, I'm not a better person than you. She was like, yeah, you are. And I'm like, no. I was like, that's a Cancer move. I was like, of being a Cancer. Cancers are great about doing the duties that say I love you, but not actually saying I love you. Just like, making dinner for the family, helping out with the schoolwork, making sure that they're, the parent that ushers everyone around. Like I said, I was making tea for my mom. That's one of my ways of saying I love you. I do things for people, but I might not necessarily come right out and say it. The thing here with Rahu being in that fourth house is asking you, when are you going to nurture yourself? When are you going to nurture yourself, your personal foundations, your inner child, if the upbringing wasn't good, when are you going to nurture yourself back to health? How are you going to teach yourself what is good? How are you going to find the true you if you can't nurture all of that? Because if you neglect that inner emotional security, well, then everything else is a lie in the first place. And if you're neglecting that inner emotional security, it's not just that it's a lie, but you won't have it. You can't be secure with who and what you are, where you're going, or any relationship you have. So this is about nurturing yourself so that you get that security. You invest in that self. You back build that value, self-worth, self-esteem. You don't become possessive and controlling because of insecurities. Because with the security, the manifestation brings it to you anyway. You only have 1 more month here of Cancer trying, I was going to say Capricorn, which is Spirit's way of saying you trying to set new foundations for that inner emotional security. That's a karmic lesson. helping you shape shift that self-esteem. And then it's moving into your communication house for the next year. A little more than a year. And this is asking you how to communicate compassionately with yourself so that when it gets into that third house of communication, it can help you communicate with others better, not just with yourself. You're advancing and moving forward. The more you're on top of this, the less work it has to do when it gets to Gemini. And the last thing that you have going on here is your 12th house. And your 12th house has Neptune in it. And that's the only thing that's in it. Oh, let me back up a second. Your 11th house, your community, your larger groups, your friends, your memberships, that self-realization that backs up your desires, your wishes, your dreams. You have Ceres in there. That's the threefold theory. That's karma. But that's also speaking to you about nurturing or neglecting. So if you've been neglecting those wishes, those desires, those dreams, you've put yourself on the back burner for all of your community and you're doing everything else for everybody else, then you're going to see that you're going to have to back build in order to make that come forward into fruition. This is where humanitarian interests is a great thing, but at the same form, you want to be doing things that serve what you want to be doing. So, put it this way. If your goals, your dreams, your ambitions, do things for the outer community. That's where you should be putting the humanitarian interests in. Not just in whatever you have to do. Ceres is the threefold theory, but she's also nurturing. She's also, a lot like the Cancer energy. She's speaking to you about what you nurture or what you neglect. And if you've been neglecting the dreams, the desires, you've been doing them wrong, you've been hanging out with the wrong people, the threefold of that karma is going to come in, teaching you that you need to shift that. Because it's teaching you also what you need to nurture within the outer community in order to truly get and see what you want to see in life. The 12th house has Neptune in it. Neptune's been here for a long ass time. The only thing here to understand about that 12th house is your own true self-realization. The more that you're in denial about your own truths, your own authenticity, the more that you're holding on to grief, sorrow, shame, blame, insecurities, fear, the more you keep sweeping it under the carpet, the more Neptune is going to create from that nostalgic idea of making you believe that those insecurities are what actually creates securities. The only way to break that chain is to step out and into the insecurities and face them. And then that's going to bring the healing full circle. This is all about shape shifting from the first house to the 12th house. But this has a lot of emphasis to do with self-communication. And where you're in denial of it. You're going to be seeing mirroring in the relationships and the community around you. Pay close attention. Because in the long run, you are those relationships. I love you guys. Bye.